Okay, so relationships, right. I mean, who hasn't felt that crazy mix of excitement, confusion, maybe a little bit of what am I doing sometimes?
Yeah, it's a bit of a roller coaster, isn't it? And like any good ride, knowing what to expect can make it a lot more enjoyable.
Exactly. And that's what got me so interested in this idea for a podcast called Love Unlocked.
Love Unlocked. Sounds intriguing already.
It is. Sadly, we're not making that show. But the whole premise got us thinking about all these different relationship stages, like dating versus being fully committed or even married. It just makes sense that each one has its own kind of vibe, its own challenges.
Right, right. You're dating someone new. There's all that butterflies stuff, figuring each other out. But years down the line, it's more about keeping that spark alive while, life happens.
And that's where this Love Unlocked thing gets really interesting. They talk about these things called attachment styles. Have you ever heard of those?
I have, yeah. Like, are you someone who needs constant reassurance in a relationship? Or are you more independent? It's about how we naturally approach closeness and connection.
Exactly. And the Love Unlocked people, they say most of us don't even realize what our own style is, but it affects how we act and how we understand our partners.
Makes you wonder if half the arguments couples have are just because they've got mismatched styles and don't even know it.
Right. Like if one person's all about constant communication and the other needs more space, boom, conflict. Speaking of communication, that's another big thing Love Unlocked dives into.
Communication. Well, that's kind of relationship 101, isn't it?
It is, but they go deeper than just talk to each other, you know? They're really into this effective communication idea.
So it's a secret. Spill the tea.
Well, they talk about active listening, which I'm sure we've all heard of, but how many of us actually do it?
Yeah.
Really trying to understand where your partner's coming from instead of just waiting for your turn to talk.
Oh, I am so guilty of that sometimes. But it's true. Just listening can make a world of difference.
Right. And they also mention nonviolent communication, which sounds intense, but it's really about being honest about your feelings without blaming the other person.
It's like, hey, when you do this, it makes me feel like this, instead of you always do this, you never do that.
Exactly. And get this, they even suggest role playing to practice these communication skills.
Role playing, like with costumes and scripts and everything.
Uh-huh. Maybe not that elaborate, but yeah, like acting out difficult conversations beforehand so you're better prepared when they come up in real life.
As silly as that sounds, it might actually be helpful. It's like having a game plan for those tricky relationship moments.
Totally. And of course, we can't forget about intimacy, which is a whole other aspect of relationships that Love Unlocked gets into.
Intimacy. Well, that's a pretty broad topic.
It is, and I like that they don't just focus on the physical side, they emphasize the importance of emotional connection as well.
Because real intimacy is about feeling truly seen and understood by your partner, right?
Right.
It's about letting your guard down and being vulnerable.
Exactly. And the source material, it talks about how shared experiences can really strengthen that bond.
Oh, absolutely. Like those inside jokes that only you two understand, or that amazing trip you took together. Those shared memories become part of your unique relationship story.
They really do. It's like building a foundation brick by brick with every experience you share.
And those little moments, they matter more than we realize. But let's be real, even the strongest couples face challenges. That's just part of being in a relationship. And Love Unlocked acknowledges that.
They do. In fact, they even dedicate a whole segment to common relationship roadblocks.
So like what?
The usual suspects, trust issues, jealousy, that eternal struggle to balance work and life. It's oddly comforting in a way, knowing that these are things every couple grapples with at some point.
It is. It's easy to feel alone in those moments, but it's important to remember that you're not the first, and you certainly won't be the last couple to face those hurdles.
Exactly. And the good news is, Love Unlocked doesn't just point out the problems, they offer potential solutions too.
Well, that's refreshing.
Hmm.
Nobody wants to be left hanging with a bunch of relationship problems and no clue how to fix them.
Exactly. It's one thing to identify the issues, but it's another to have some tools and strategies to actually work through them. That's what makes their approach so valuable.
It's like they're giving you a head start on navigating the inevitable bumps in the road. And honestly, who couldn't use a little help with that? Relationships are hard work, even the good ones.
They really are. Well, this has been such a thought-provoking deep dive. It makes me want to go back and really pay attention to those attachment styles, both mine and my
Me
partner's.
too. It's funny how these seemingly simple concepts can have such a profound impact on how we understand ourselves and our relationships.
It's true. So, as you go about your day today, maybe think about this. What part of this whole love unlocked thing really stuck with you? What's that one thing you heard that you could maybe, just maybe, try out in your own life? Even if it seems small, those little changes can make a world of difference. And you never know, it might just unlock a whole new level of understanding in your relationships. Until next time.